Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the BTB Movie Club podcast. My name is Matt Smith. We hope you enjoyed today's movie discussion. Thanks for listening.
Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the BTB Movie Club. My name is Tim Larson here with friends to talk about the 1993 hit Tombstone. This is Matt Smith's pick. Matt, you picked this. I think you had the opportunity to pick anything you want. Dealer's choice, I think you went, and this was a tribute to Val Kilmer.
Correct.
That's as I recall. So the show is yours. Take it away, Matt.
All right, yeah. I wanted to pick a Val Kilmer movie. Had lots of options. I picked one I'd seen before. I'm going to be honest with you. I was kind of hoping to get Mike Wilden's opinion on this because I'm pretty sure he's the only one in this group has never seen the movie.
Ah,
So that's awkward, but whatever. That's fine. I like the movie.
Don't
so-
worry, he is watching it at like 3 times speed in order to get to the movie at some point.
yeah.
So
I'm Huckleberry.
Yeah, no. So love this movie for all its goods and bads and uglies. No pun intended there. So interested to hear what you guys think, or if you maybe caught something that you hadn't caught before, maybe something stuck out, or something you remembered if you haven't seen it in a long time. Interested in hearing that. So I'm gonna go with Brian Larson. He's up on my left here. So
Thank you. I appreciate that. Love going first. So
I
This is
promise
just-
it's just the way you are on my screen. I swear.
No,
It wasn't.
I didn't say anything. I was just, I usually, the only problem with going first, and I know other people have done this, is it's like you don't want to say too much to take
Sure.
things away from everybody. And to me, this movie's just filled with greatness. I mean, Kilmer is phenomenal. Kurt Russell's good. Sam Elliott, Bill Paxton plays an idiot perfectly. I mean, just the times they're cutting to him. I mean, one of the perfect ones when Doc Holliday's doing the bit with the first Michael Bihn's doing the thing, Ringo's doing the thing with the gun, and then they go to the cup, and he's just staring like a moron. It's like it's just a gun trick, But the Wyatt Earp getting to town and everybody wants him to be sheriff, and he's just like, "Fuck you guys, I'm not doing it." But and it gets to the point where that's what the answer turned. At first, like, "Nope, I'm done. I did my time," blah. Then at the end, it's like when the mayor comes up to him in the opera house, and he's just like, "No, okay." So, I believe there is a lot of historical accuracy in this, which is good. I, for one, have never seen the other Wyatt Earp movie, the Kevin Costner, Dennis Quaid, because a lot of people talk about the comparison of Dennis Quaid and Val Kilmer's roles of Doc Holliday. And I've even heard some people say they like Quaid better. Unfortunately, I had to slap those people,
Yeah.
but I don't care, even if I haven't seen it. But this, again, beginning to end, great movie. Dana Delaney, who I really like, she was the voice of Lois Lane in the Superman cartoon. She shows up, phenomenal. Billy Zane, who was the Phantom in the Phantom movie, who nobody's seen the Phantom movie. But, okay. But Billy Zane just, complete dick in Titanic, but in this, he was just a genuine person who was good and was hated because, you're pretty sure he was gay. And then they had Jason Priestley, right? He just, there were so many people in this that you didn't have gigantic roles, and some were kind of young, some weren't. And Powers Booth and Michael Biehn, and I mean, it's just on and on. So, but I'll save some of that stuff for you guys. Movie's just filled with quotes from beginning to end too.
What's your favorite non-Doc quote, do you think?
Wow, that's a good one. Quote.
I could come back to you. We could do that later if you want, but
I might be able to come up with it before. Maybe not, but yeah, it might come back to it.
Okay.
I just want to ask a question. Okay, first off, I don't know what Faro is, but it seems like a lot of people lose money on it, which I guess is good for a casino. But the one guy wins like $100, and then he puts more money out, and he's like all excited, and then Wyatt's like, "Oh, but you just lost." Anyone notice he dealt from the bottom of the deck?
No.
Yeah, he's completely reaching to at the bottom of the deck and pulls the card out, and he's like, "Oh, now you lost." And so I don't know how up and up he was now that he was done being a lawman. It's like they got all these deeds. He comes in, he takes over 25% of the bar that he goes to right away. So, but go ahead, Melo.
I was just gonna say that I would just watch the clip again where Ringo is like calling him out in the street, and he's like, "I'm not gonna fight you. There's no money in it."
Yeah.
Yeah, that's probably
He was definitely there just to make money. Right.
Yeah,
Yeah, apparently the Wyatt Earp movie that came out later, I guess, makes him a little bit more morally ambiguous, was the term used. They kind of show him to be a little bit more morally not as good of a person.
in that scene too. Melo, one of the things. So he opens his coat, and we can't see anything. So I'm assuming he wasn't carrying a gun at the time, and that was his point. Is I don't even have a gun on me, but I was like, "Yeah, you're showing the wrong way, guys. Turn around." It's like-
yeah.
but
I'm sure it was done intentionally.
yeah, I think part of the exchange with Billy Bob Thornton and Kurt Russell, Billy Bob's. Oh, it's got to be Kurt Russell. You're just going to stand there and bleed.
Yeah.
That's got to be higher
That's a
up
good one.
there.
That's a good one.
Skin that smoke wagon and see what
Yeah,
happens.
that whole scene where he's telling him to pull his weapon, just all
Yeah.
the phrases he used, I giggle every time.
Yep. It was great. So, but I'll leave the rest on the table for you guys. And, but fantastic pick. One of my, I dabbled in it in different times when we were picking movies for the past 5 years and never picked it. And I'm glad you did.
Well, thank you. Yeah, I know it's always a little, um, I don't know what other word to use. I'm gonna use dangerous. I know that's not really the appropriate word here, but when you pick a movie that most of us have seen and probably could quote, we've talked about nobody's picked Star Wars either, um, so I know but I appreciate that.
Yeah. It was one of those two. It wasn't playing anywhere digitally. It was, so I had it on DVD and not a good
Oh,
quality copy, but
I
because when I went to look for it, I couldn't find it.
oh,
So
gotcha. Yeah, it was on Amazon for free for me.
yeah, did it at Disney Plus and
Gotcha.
watched it in 4K and loved
Oh,
it even
cool,
more
cool,
Hmm.
cool, cool.
because Disney Plus is great.
It is great.
Guilty.
Anybody who's listening.
I
Okay.
just listened to you bash Daredevil for a while. That's all.
Oh,
Well,
well,
in my defense, it deserved it, so it's fine.
okay.
The new one?
Okay.
Hang on, Matt.
Yeah.
You've
Yeah,
got such
yeah,
you've
the new
got
one.
such a good question with this.
Okay.
What's your favorite quote other than a Doc quote?
Yeah.
Because just to try to refresh my memory and try to find a good one, I was like Tombstone quotes, and it's like
They're all
Screen Rant top 10. One of them isn't
Yeah.
Doc.
Yep. I know. I know. Well, and that's
Like,
that's the interesting part about it. Like Val Kilmer's so good in this movie that
right,
that's probably one of the few things you actually remember about the movie.
right,
In terms of you remember all those quotes. Everybody can say I'm your Huckleberry,
right.
Right.
Or
or
looks like somebody just walked over your
yep,
grave,
yep.
or
You're a daisy
any of
if
that
you
You know,
stuff.
do.
Daisy.
Anyone that you think of, it's probably Doc.
Yep. Well, and that Daisy if you do quote apparently is historically accurate, according to many sources. So that's kind of neat. So anyway, sorry. Brian, you good?
Uh, the other thing I want to say is
Yeah.
Behan and Ike needed to die. Those are the only things that disappoint me in the movie. They don't show them getting killed, especially Ike.
Especially Ike.
Yeah.
I got a theory about Ike.
Oh,
Well, I do. It's Ike's story. He's the one that got away from every one of these things that he shouldn't have got away with. He's the only one who survived to tell people what Wyatt did, other than Wyatt.
Yeah.
So I don't know. That's always been my thing, because like I need him to die too. Every time it's like, drops his sash, and no, he doesn't get away for that.
Yeah.
I don't have a
Yeah.
gun. I don't have a gun. And then he picks up a gun and starts
Right.
shooting at him.
Right. Yeah. So I
Um,
don't know. That's just my.
I'm gonna let Hilty go unless he's in the middle of something.
I'm in the middle of trying to figure out what I'm picking, but that's okay.
Oh, I can.
No,
Well, this will give you time while the rest of us are talking.
it's all good. So I love this movie. It's really great. It's one of my favorite Westerns, if not maybe my favorite Western, because I'm
Wow.
not that big of a Western fan. And this one just seems so accessible for a lot of different reasons. It has classic characters. It's got all the things that you typically want out of a Western, which is violence and, well, violence and such. So I really enjoyed
Anticipation
that.
of violence,
The promise of more violence to come.
reaction to violence. Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, all of that. Um, I was reading up on some of the trivia about Val Kilmer's performance in general on this. So, like a couple things that kind of stood out to me with this is that there were a lot of moments that he improvised here, like walking to the OK Corral. It was his idea to whistle. He's the one that kind of perfected that the accent, which he kind of based it on a lot of characters from Gone with the Wind because Doc Holliday is from Georgia, so he tried to get that accent as close to that as possible. And then he also, for his death scene, he also laid down on a bed of ice so that it would look like he was actually shaking and it looked like he was actually suffering. And this to me is just one of the reasons why Val Kilmer is look, he's not like the greatest actor ever, but he's just become severely underrated now because most people, I mean, probably his last good movie that he actually starred in was Kiss Kiss Bang Bang. And then it was very touching his what he did in Top Gun Maverick. But before that, Kilmer was killing it in the 80s and 90s and then kind of just fell off the face of the earth, kind of getting a reputation for being a little difficult to work with. Everything that happened on the set of The Island of Dr. Moreau, if you haven't read up on that or haven't seen that movie, the making of that is just as legendary as the movie itself. Because the movie's not very good, and the making of imagine having Marlon Brando, who is always notoriously difficult to work with, and then Val Kilmer, who not only was he being difficult, but he just was extremely frustrated with how the production of that went, because he just wanted it to be good, and it just wasn't. So um, I read that that they actually wore wool costumes, so like all the actors hated it, um, just for authenticity purposes. So kudos to the costuming department for that. Just memorable lines, great moments. This has literally everyone in Hollywood, it feels like in 1993 that
Yeah.
would turn out to be really good. Um, I don't know why I completely forgot Bill Paxton was in it, and I was like, oh, you're gone too now. So
Yeah.
so that kind of bummed me out. And one thing that I did read that, boy, I wonder how much different this movie would have been is that the screenwriter, he originally wanted Liam Neeson as Wyatt Earp and David Bowie as Doc Holliday. Like, no, just no, because David Bowie and Michael Jackson, like studios were trying to get them in everything in the 80s and 90s. Um, it's crazy, but I can't imagine anybody else playing Doc Holliday, like particularly in this role. I can imagine other people playing Wyatt Earp because Wyatt Earp's got a ton of other movies out there, but you know just Matt, great pick. I really wish you would have picked Whiplash, but whatever. It is what it is. With that,
Wow.
Wow.
don't blame me. Blame the guy who rejected your original pick.
I know the rules man over there, the ball breaker.
Well, we need to have rules in place and such, and he was within his rights to
Yeah, he looks like he's getting that mute button ready. I'm going to be honest with you. He's kind of got that look on his face.
I don't even know who you guys are talking about.
Cool.
That tracks actually.
So yeah, great pick. Love this movie. Don't really have a whole lot more to say, I suppose.
Do you have a non-doc quote that you like in this movie?
Is it a cop out to say no? Because
No, that's fine.
I love most of just.
I mean, according to Screen Rant, 90% of the quotes should be docs anyways, right? So,
well, that is correct.
so
So I will give them that. So, I don't know. I'll think about it and then I'll jump in if I think of one. But unfortunately, most of the quotes that I like the most in this and the most memorable ones are from Doc Holliday. So
yeah, no, for sure.
I'll I'll figure it out and then I'll say something, but I can't think of anything off the top of my head.
That's perfectly okay. I didn't know that there was another actor for Wyatt Earp. I know for Doc Holliday, the Willem Dafoe was an option. So sorry if I took that from someone, but could you imagine this movie would like if
Yeah, I think you'd crush it. I love Willem Dafoe.
Willem
Oh,
Dafoe's
I do
great.
too.
Willem
Yeah.
Dafoe's great. I don't know.
It's hard seeing anybody else do this. At
Oh,
this
yeah.
point.
All I could see is Willem Dafoe's creepy ass smile throughout the course of this movie, and I'm just like, no, I can't see it. But I don't know. He probably would have done amazing, but I'm surprised Willem Dafoe didn't end up anywhere else in this movie, though.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. All right. You good? All right. Ryan Malo, you're up next.
All right. We're good
Maybe.
right now. I swear for the last 3 hours, that dog has not barked once. It's like 9 a.m. They set it loose. I don't know what the hell happens. Kids just rode by. Yeah. So I remember I can't remember if I saw it in the theater, but I definitely remember I was in the video store when this came out and the year after when Wyatt Earp came out. I definitely remember. Sorry, I don't know. Liking Wyatt Earp way better. Like, not
Really?
that this was bad, but and so like I thought about it like a lot. Like, was I always contrarian, or what? Like, was that a thing? The first thing I wrote on this one was such a Hollywood movie, and I think it is. Sorry, guys. It very much is that. But watching it again this time, I really appreciated it a lot more. I didn't remember the newsreel open thing. Powers Booth is such a great asshole in everything. He's fantastic. I forgot how many, like Michael Rooker is just a bit part, and he's great. Michael Bain. I wrote Lowell until I could remember Thomas Hayden Church. I just forever think of him that way. Yeah, I put Bill Paxton, R.I.P. All right, having fun with the kids next door.
No, it's great. It's fun for me editing these.
No, it's
great.
so good.
I really enjoy
That's
it.
what you get for singling out specifically the dog.
Yep.
I guess. Well, don't worry, they'll queue up right away now that the kids are gone.
Damn it.
Billy Bob Thornton, I forgot, and then I wrote Fat. Sorry, just
that's
different.
the biggest thing he's ever looked, right? Like, has he ever looked?
I don't remember him ever. Yeah.
It's weird. Like, you don't recognize him.
Right. It wasn't derogatory. It just took me by
Was he
surprise.
that big in Sling Blade?
He was pretty big in Sling Blade.
Oh, that's a good point.
That's one I still haven't seen, but I'm very aware of it. I know. Stuff comes through. But yeah, I put "You gonna do something" or "Just stand there and bleed." It very much reminded me of "You gonna bark all day, little doggy," or "You gonna bite?" Like it was very much the same. I have two more on that note. One, I don't know, it's not that significant, but it stuck with me. is when Sam Elliott says, "I've still got one good arm to hold you with." And then the other one I wrote was Booth Powers when he goes, "Well, bye." That's a great line. But yeah, all the other stuff. Billy Zane, I forgot. Dana Delaney, Jason Priestley, John Locke, I wrote down for Terry O'Quinn. Just and John Corbett from Big Fat Greek Wedding and other stuff. Like all of that, I totally forgot or just wasn't aware of. Chuck Heston, like that's crazy. Like all of that. That's most of my notes by far. What does that say? Oh yeah, Brian mentioned so many good people in this.
Terry Quinn, he was in Young Guns too.
Oh really?
Pigeonholed into westerns for a minute.
Okay.
Since you did that, Brian, I was going to hold off to this, but since it popped up, this movie is 1993 and Young Guns is 1988, and we're talking about this big cast of people being involved in it, and it was, I'm if you guys remember this the same way, there was this resurgence of our younger actors getting in westerns, and I think the popularity of Young Guns is part of the reason why so many of these actors and actresses were willing to be in this movie. That's what I was going to say.
Well, what was Unforgiven? At 92?
That's 94.
I thought it was the same year. I thought it was 93.
Maybe it is.
No, it's 92. Because it won Best Picture.
92.
I think it's 92. Yeah.
Because
Only there was a way to look that up. No, it was 92.
Is that just? Are you, Brian? Are you just putting together like the Western resurgence, or because there's not a lot of young actors in Unforgiven, right? I mean, I know the kid, but he's not like. I always thought he should have been like River Phoenix or somebody like that. And I don't know if he was dead by then, but I don't even know who that kid is. I can picture him, but I don't know. Like he wasn't a big star or anything, was he?
Right. Yeah. I don't think.
Oh, the kid in Unforgiven.
Right. Yeah.
He did a couple things, but
he was on the verge of being big and just never became big.
Okay.
I put Great Yeller, Gene Hackman, because we talked about that a little bit. I think what's his name? Oh my gosh.
Russell?
Thank you. Yeah. Kurt Russell he falls in that same category. And then I did have the note that I just saw that tonight. Like I went a little bit last night or 2 nights ago, kind of on a deep hole, a rabbit hole, just looking at different things. And then tonight again, and I saw the Willem Dafoe thing. And I did see one last thing I was going to share. It was this cool, he was at a panel, it was Val Kilmer talking about the role in this and just the whole thing. And he seemed pretty open to talking about how from the very first shot, they were not very confident in the director. And like he and Kurt Russell kind of shared a moment like, okay, we're going to have to carry this. And I don't know. I thought that was pretty interesting. So and then I was going back through because I knew Dennis Quaid played Doc Holliday, and I knew that I liked that overall version better because it felt more authentic to me, at least at the time. But Val Kilmer just crushes it. I mean, he absolutely owns the movie. And what I liked a lot better this time was knowing that a lot of the different things were like you clearly changed some things for viewing purposes, and a lot of times those things bother me. This one they didn't at all, and in even that, like Morgan getting shot in the back while playing billiards or whatever, that was accurate. There were so many different things that were very accurate, but maybe they changed the time frame or something like that.
Yeah.
And so I really did appreciate that more. Even to the final words of Doc, he says, "This is funny," and it's because he sees his exposed feet when he passes away. Like it wasn't the same day or like 30 seconds later from Wyatt walking away, but that was still accurate as historically his last words, that he always thought he would die with his boots on in a gunfight or something, and he ended up, dying in a bed from illness. So I I'm really glad that you chose this and we got to go through it again, and just, I don't know, it's probably been at least 15 years since I've seen this, and I always liked it, but it felt more Hollywood. But I liked it a lot more now because it still had those Hollywood elements, but I was able to better understand how grounded in fact they were. So yeah, good
Yeah.
stuff.
Do you have a favorite non-doc quote?
Well, the first, the favorite one is the "You're going to do something and you stand there."
Oh, just that one. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
How for you, Melo? How is it not? Will somebody shoot that goddamn dog?
fair. That's
Yeah.
fair.
I
Get that
completely
dog outta
thought
here.
about that when it happened. I just laughed. Oh,
Uh, yeah, you were talking about the director and stuff. The director left early, and they brought in someone new. And it sounds like if you listen to Kilmer tell the story, that Russell basically did everything from that point on. Once the first director was gone, Kurt Russell kind of put his blood, sweat, and tears into that and helped out the new guy and really so that was and he was complimenting him. He said that movie doesn't get made without Kurt Russell and all this other stuff. So that was nice. Yeah, and I in the historical stuff too, I did read up on that too. They other than changing time frames, they did keep it pretty accurate. There was some age things with like the Frank wasn't that old. He was actually pretty young, but they wanted this guy to play. That was different Harry Carey, but Harry Carey Jr. and there was the Harry Carey that was in the other westerns that was based on this, and so there was some other stuff.
The thing for me, I didn't. I thought the whole like hunting down the cowboys and all that stuff, the first time through, at least I thought was very Hollywood. Like that.
Hmm.
That's what people want, is vengeance and vendetta specifically and all that. And then I was going back through and I'm like, oh, that was actually pretty accurate.
Mm.
Again, time frame and all of that
Sure.
is kind of different. But the fact that it happened, I don't know. OK Corral was like, I thought, the pinnacle.
Hmm.
And it ended up, it's so funny how all those things where, like, I don't know, Boston Massacre or whatever, is like 3 people died, or whatever, like, not to undermine those 3
Right.
people's
Yeah, sure.
significance, but again, like, yeah, just interesting how that all works out.
I just want to jump in for a second. Sorry if I'm going to take anything, but there's a different podcast out there. It's Inside of You with Michael Rosenbaum. Sorry, and Michael Biehn was on there. And I seem to remember him talking about this, and he wasn't happy that Kurt Russell kind of took
Oh,
over. So
interesting.
just a different take on it.
Yeah.
But he was saying how it was miserable on set and things like that.
Hmm.
So it's kind of funny how one
Yeah.
opinion over another.
Well, and I guess Val Kilmer got more out of that movie, right? I mean, in terms of stardom, he probably got, I can't think of the word, propelled a little bit by that movie more than other people.
I could definitely see on set thinking, I'm going to really stand out in this, and then the way it's edited and everything else. Yeah. I did read a quote too. Credit to well, not like it's from Val Kilmer, but just like honoring him, where they asked Michael Biehn, or how you say it, what it was like working with Val Kilmer. He's like, I don't know. I only saw Doc Holliday, which I thought was pretty cool.
Nice. All right. Thank you, sir. Aaron, what you got?
Seen it a million times and I watch it a million more. So it's been way less than 15 years that I've seen it. And I want to say it's the last couple viewings, and I knew it was going to happen this time. Like, I always think that the his brother getting shot in the pool hall. Morgan. I always think that's like right at the end. Like, I think there's always like 10 minutes left in the movie or 15 minutes left in the movie. And there's a decent chunk of shit to go.
And it's an odd, maybe it's just me. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
That's all right.
There's an odd little, did anybody notice there's like odd little time jump in there too, right? Like they're at Virgil's house, and then all of a sudden, and Kurt Russell leaves and is walking in the rain, and then all of a sudden Morgan's back at the pool hall.
Yep.
Wasn't Morgan at Virgil, or was Morgan not at Virgil's house?
Well, Morgan leaves all
He
pissed
takes off
off, and he's
running
like,
into the night.
ah. But then
Yeah.
next thing you know, he's in the pool hall shooting,
Right. So
drinking
that was
beer,
always a
and
weird little, and
Right.
maybe there's an edit in there
Bad
somewhere.
Technically, it was at least 2.5 weeks later that those two incidents, and they combine them to one
Yeah.
night.
They
Yeah.
make him look like one night, right?
Sure, sure. I just mean movie making wise, it seemed to take a little jump. So anyway,
Mhm.
that's why I always think, Aaron, that it's a weird spot too. Like,
Yeah, it is. You know, the whole movie kind of gets wonky for a few minutes in that whole area,
Yep.
yeah,
but like all that's got to happen.
right.
I mean, just the only thing I'm gonna, really add is, the cast. Just looking at that this time, um, I McMaster's, Rooker's character, like I don't know if it was Brian or Melo that said like bit part. I don't know. I don't want to think of him as a bit because like I really like his character in this and how he switches. Like he's like I'm not into shooting women or scaring women or whatever he says, and um, yeah, I like his character that he I don't know, switches sides. Saying it out loud kind of seems weird. He's like a turncoat, but um, no, I like his character. But just looking at all the different characters, Powers Booth, and all the ones that don't get a lot of recognition. Jason Priestley, I always remember, um, but I always forget that that's Billy Zane. Like I remember the character, but then when I watch it, I'm like, oh, that's Billy Zane.
Mhm.
It's just a cool, different character for him to play. Billy Bob Thornton's, I think, great in it. I'm just trying to go through all the peripheral ones. I already told you my theory. That was going to be my big epiphany um, about Ike, why he always gets away, because I want to see him die slow and painful. Um, but like, that's always been my. And I know in other movies, like even sometimes the villain or what it's a plot point that they tell somebody, why'd you leave one, so he can tell, blah blah blah,
Yeah.
so he can tell his friends or tell the story or leave one to tell the tale. um just I'm looking at the cast, just I totally forgot about Terry O'Quinn or what'd you call him, Melo from Lost? Wasn't it you who called him by
John
his
Locke.
yeah, Locke, John
John
Locke.
Locke.
um Totally forgot he was in it. I don't know. I like how it starts. Um, the start of the movie talked about the little wonkiness in the end. Gets great again, and then I don't know. I'm not a super fan of the end, like the last just few minutes. But I mean, how do you end a fairly, perfect movie that's just been, quotable and you've loved every minute of it? So, and maybe it's just not wanting it to end. Maybe that's why I don't like the end. I have seen Wyatt Earp. I do like it. Um, I'd say I probably like this one more for a little bit more of the Hollywoodness. The other one is a little bit more, I not a documentary in any way, but a little more. It feels a little more realistic. Um, but I'd probably give this a 9 and that a 8.5. So I like them both a lot. Um, I can't think of anything. The other one I think deals with the women a bit better. Here we get the women um, and the whole cheating on and disrespecting and all that, or whatever. She is your wife. I know that she's a heroin addict, but it is heroin, right? Or is it
Opium.
cocaine? Laudanum. What
It's
is
laudanum.
Yeah, opium.
so?
Laudanum was something used as a medicine, but it was basically alcohol and opium.
Right. Yeah, that's I always thought it was
Extended.
like heroin or opioid or whatever. I know she was a junkie, but you know, you still married her. Um, so I don't know. Just trying to talk about different things that didn't get brought up. Um, I like the ride of the immortals. You know, I like that. You know,
Hmm.
that line. I know I didn't say it. Give it justice, but that's not the line that I want to go with. Um, I don't know. That's about it, I guess. Kind of all over the place, but like I was just trying to
That's
fill in
right.
some gaps.
All right. Yeah, apparently there's a couple deleted scenes that came to light like 10 years later, and they did show her addiction issue in more detail. Because if you, I mean, obviously she's got this problem. Wyatt Earp does kind of seem like a big jerk in that
Oh yeah,
situation. Like he just totally is like, I'm here with my wife, but here's this hot girl. I'm just gonna stare at her and really love her. I just so that and they didn't really deal with that. Maddie just went away. I mean, you could see the look on her
right.
face, but I mean, Maddie just she's gone, and then he gets together and he married that woman.
Yep.
They made like a common law marriage with. So it's like, what
It,
happened to Maddie? She's
in the
probably
other
dead.
movie, they do
Yeah.
address it a little better,
Okay.
It was
like
literally
the fight between
he
them.
says it. The narrator, which Robert Mitchum is the
Hmm.
narrator.
Who was supposed
Um,
to be in the movie and fell off his
okay.
horse. So he
Oh
got
shit.
hurt and he couldn't
He
be in
couldn't.
it. So they
Right.
let him narrate it.
He
Yeah.
was just yeah, he was the narrator. I read about
But
that too.
it's in narration. It's like, oh yeah, by the way, his wife died from an overdose.
Yeah.
Moving on.
Right. Yeah. Right. It's just like, meh. And they lived happily ever
It's
after.
kind of how they handled her character throughout the movie, really.
Yeah.
Was just side note.
Yeah.
So, um, I and the reason I brought up Michael Rooker's character, one, I do genuinely like him, but I do like if we're going for quotes, and it's kind of a cop out because it's a quote that sets up a Doc quote where he's talking about, you know, I'd want revenge if they killed my brothers too, and then Doc gets to say,
Mhm.
you know, oh, you know, don't be mistaken, it's not revenge, it's a reckoning. You know,
Mhm.
it's like, oh, what's a reckoning? You know,
Yeah.
why is that different? You know, um, but the pure quote that I would go with, and I couldn't, you know, didn't have it off the top of my head, but you know, looking through them, I do love when Wyatt says, you know, no, I don't think I'm going to let you arrest me
Yeah.
today, BM.
Yeah.
You know,
He
I mean,
just walks
that's
away.
it's just badass. It's
Mhm.
probably second to and Malo already hit. You know, are you going to do anything or just lay there and bleed? You know,
Mhm.
the other one is, yeah, you're just not going to arrest me today.
Yeah.
But
Nice. Yeah.
yeah,
Apparently there's another deleted scene with Rooker's character. They show him meeting up with the Cowboys again, which obviously leads to
oh,
his
him getting drugged.
yeah, his drug. But I don't know why they cut it, but they cut that out. But
That see, well, and I mean, it must have been for time or whatever, because that would make. I mean, you assume something like that happened, but you don't
yeah.
know what. Um, and I want to say probably the first time I watched it, maybe in the theater, I don't know, or short. Like I didn't even realize that's who that was supposed to be. You know, like I didn't even get that was McMaster's. You know,
Right.
or you
Yeah.
know it. So having a setup and him getting jumped might have helped a little, but not majorly in the plot, I guess.
Yeah.
I mean, why did he leave? They don't. I mean, was
I
he
think
trying to
he's
go get
the type of
help? Was he
guys
trying
to
to?
ride over because he did ride. I mean, they were his brothers for a while. Um, he might have been trying to tell him, you know, stop your wicked ways, and you know, try to maybe, you know, counsel him and preach to him. And
Yeah.
Wyatt and Doc are going to kill you. You know, you
Yeah.
guys gotta, you know, either
You
leave or. But
So
you
I
know,
not knowing that, I always assumed he was just out on watch. They just saw him on watch and grabbed him, and he's just the
yeah.
one that they grabbed.
Yeah.
That's what I always assumed.
yeah,
I like
me too.
Aaron's version better, though.
All right. Good, Aaron.
Yeah, I'm good. Thank you.
Okay.
Great pick. You know, like I
Thank
said,
you.
if you want to pick it again, I'll watch it.
Might watch it again tonight. Who knows? All right, Tim, what you got?
Yeah. You called down the thunder. Now you got it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's a good one.
yeah.
um. This is a Shawshank movie for me for sure. So I feel like I've watched it every other week since it came out. Um. from start to finish, though, this is probably the first time I've watched it start to finish in quite some time because I usually catch it and leave it on, you know. Hearing Robert Mitchum do the intro just it took me back a bit. I never saw it in the theater, and this is just has nothing to do with the movie itself, but my first experience, I rented it, and then I had a couple of people over, and one dude had seen it. It was a guy I worked with at Meyer, of all places, and fucker was he was doing the lines before the actors
Oh,
would say the
Jesus.
lines. Like, what
Yeah.
is that? I was like, you totally ruined this movie for me, Dick. Um, I mean, like seriously, like I'm your Huckleberry. He would say that shit before Val Kilmer got to say it. I like that's last movie I ever saw with him. I wouldn't
Yeah.
if it was movie watching and he was involved, I was like, no, I'm out. Um, I will say this: I have negative things to say about this movie. On
Do
this
it.
watch, it's so great, and I love it just like everybody
Sure.
else does, and I will watch it over and over. Some of the
You've
scenes
offended
are a
Aaron.
little silly. It's
I
easy.
left in protest.
Yeah, it's fine. Some of the scenes for me are a little awkward and silly, and I feel like some of the Wyatt Josephine stuff, like when they're out on the horses, I feel like the directing is somewhat similar in those scenes to Star Wars Episode 2, where everybody talks about how bad that chemistry is. Um, I just there's a few scenes that are like that just kind of don't make sense. Um, Doc Holliday plays all night, and he's a lunger. I want to say tuberculosis, but there's another
Yeah.
consumption. I think is the word
It
I've seen
Same
yeah,
historically.
thing.
the
It's the
medical
same thing.
term is
Okay,
tuberculosis. Yeah.
Tuberculosis was called consumption.
okay. The doc comes over. Doctor says, "Okay, so you got to do this." This he throws him out, and then immediately Kate comes in, grabbing his crotch and giving him a cigarette. It's like, was she trying to kill him? You know,
Yes.
like it seems like she's got his
She
back,
was
but
evil. Evil.
well,
Jeez.
like, and if so, why don't we see any other feel for that, for her
Yeah.
being somebody who's trying to get rid of him and move on? Let's see what the stuff in the theater with the cowboys just shooting their guns. Like
Yeah.
it's like I'm saying, some of it, I get what they're doing with it, but it makes it less of a perfect movie for me. And there's so much that's good about this movie and these performances that as I'm watching and I'm just some of the scenes and it's as we're having this conversation, more things are making sense. Like Melo talking about them not having faith in the director. And this thing project had already started. And I'm thinking it's some of that it was probably the point. So having said that though, uh this has always been a favorite. I really did link this less with the White Earp movie and more with Young Guns at the time because it's an ensemble cast with famous younger actors as opposed to what we were used to with Clint Eastwood and John Wayne and these older guys. Um, so I loved it at the time and I still do. Let's see. This is funny. That line, "This is funny." Maybe this is my take on it, and you get your own takes because it's open ended. Morgan had talked about when you die, you see a light, and then he said, I don't see anything. And the last thing Doc Holliday says is, "This is funny." And I thought they were putting it up like Doc Holliday sees a light when he's dying.
Hmm.
Well, this is funny. Um, whether that's true
So
or not, I
do
don't know. But that,
you feel Doc Holliday went to heaven and Morgan is then going to hell?
oh, I don't have an explanation for it, Brian. I'm
Okay.
just saying that's
Just
what I
asking.
took from it.
Gotcha.
And then
I
the
like
other
it.
thing
I
I
like
said,
where you're going with it though.
yeah, I wrote down a bunch of words that are in this script that I had no idea what these words were until I watched this movie and still don't. Um, this is when I learned what laudanum was because at one point I looked it up and I came across it in college in a study of another class. Um, Fortuitous. This is the first time I learned the word fortuitous. Never forgot it after that because, if Wyatt Earp can say, "I know what it means," then I need to know what it means. Um, let's see. Milt. He's the owner of the casino that Wyatt Earp comes into. He says, "You see that bird sitting there at the faro table?" I didn't know that he referred to him as a bird. I was writing down words at this point. And then he says, this line always bothered me because I didn't know what any of these words were at the time. He said, he chases out all the high class play. Now I only get the bummers and the drovers, just the dregs. And I was like, I don't know what you mean about any three of those. Why you needed a third word there? I didn't even get the first two. But I figured out later the drovers are ones that are driving the horses. And so that's a specific kind of person. But I mean, bummers, you can take your meaning from that, and dregs. It was a weird sentence for me because I don't know the context of using those. Um, Wyatt Earp
But if
tells
you
them,
use your context clues,
yeah,
you understand what they're not, good people slash high rollers slash making
right,
me a lot of money.
right. But why do you need bummers and dregs though? Because my context is saying those words mean the same thing. So that's where I was going with it because he throws three of them out there in a row, and I'm like, okay, I don't know what those mean. Crawfish on a bet. I didn't know the meaning of that term. I get it. What they're saying is, I made a bet and I'm not going to live up to it. I'm going to crawfish on it. That comes up a couple of times when Texas Creek or Texas Jack or those two guys come out, and that's the first shooting you see in Tombstone. They're like, he crawfished on a bet, and then he called me a liar. We was fair. And then later on, Curly Bill says, I would crawfish against the devil and then drill the devil in the ass or whatever. So apparently, you take from the movie, this is what they say all the time. Um, and then
Sure.
Ike,
Turkey
yeah,
Creek, Jack Johnson.
thank you. Thank you. Um, like you get them all right. I see you checking on the internet over there.
No, I swear to God, I scrolled and I was like, Creek. Oh, it's Turkey
Um,
Creek, Jack Johnson.
Ike after slapping Milt in the face, like right before Virgil arrests him. He says, "Give somebody a slap on the beezer, you get some respect around here." I never heard anybody talk about somebody slapping somebody on a beezer. That's new for me as well. So there's a lot of lingo in this screenplay, and if they did this, if they went out of their way to stay so true to some historical content, maybe they did that. Maybe they went, let's get some of the terminology that they used at the time, and it works in context. It's something that occurred to me. Like, there's a lot of words in here they use that I don't really recognize.
Okay,
So,
Tim.
yeah.
Since you're talking about words, I was going to bring it up. I totally forgot to. Somebody had brought up the brother being, I think it was Brian, talking about Paxton's character being like I think, did you call him a
He said
bozo
idiot.
or something like that?
Idiot.
An
Yeah.
idiot. The word that Wyatt uses is affable. And that was a word that I actually had to look up, talking about words. And
Hmm.
it just means like mild mannered,
Okay.
not necessarily an idiot, you know. So
I had
I get,
naive written down.
yeah.
Affable makes sense. Yeah. He's enthusiastic too. Damn, this Berg is jumping. Like, he's all excited when he comes into the street, and it's like, okay, all right.
Kind of like an
I got
idiot.
it. All right, sure. Question, and this came up as I was looking something up in a Reddit thread. Why the hell is everybody so angry at Wyatt? Like, Virgil is constantly in the second half of the movie pissed at Wyatt for everything. Like, he's got to be a marshal because he's mad at Wyatt, and then tells Wyatt, "Fuck off! I don't want to talk to you right now." It's like, I hate Wyatt. I hate Wyatt, and we don't really get a reason why.
I, that's always been weird to me too. Like, Virgil's the one that wanted to have Law and Order, and then he gets mad at Wyatt for them being in the situation. Like, it just never. It was always strange to me why
Mhm.
Virgil. I, like, does he blame him because Wyatt? It was Wyatt's idea to go to the town, probably,
I
or
think
was he?
so.
Or was he mad at him because, hey, you were a U.S. Marshal. This should be your job, and you're making it our job. Those are like my two sort of
Hmm.
head canon things. But yeah, it always seemed weird. Like, you are the one who wanted to be the law, man. Wyatt said, "Don't do it, you idiot." Now you're got maimed and shot in the leg, and yeah, I
Virgil was the sheriff after this.
yes.
Hmm.
And so,
Well,
like, it was the way he went about it. I don't know.
Well, when he said, "I don't want to talk right now," Wyatt, I mean, Virgil's sitting there with his arm paralyzed. He's just been told, and
You get that.
and Wyatt says, "I told you not to be the sheriff." I mean, that's
Right.
not the time.
That's
Yeah.
not the time.
Maybe
Yeah.
choose a better time. And you know, also Wyatt did take charge and started telling everyone what the family was doing. And maybe Virgil didn't want to be a Pharaoh
Yeah.
bar participant and get all the deeds to all these plots and all the other stuff. He just wanted to try and get some land and raise a family with his wife.
Well, that was more my take that if we were going to do law enforcement, I'm the oldest. I'm going to be the guy.
Mhm.
You know,
Kind of that, and I always took it as why you know who we are, and you know whether like you can lead us into this situation, like you can get a bunch of guys going out, like you know who's going to get in a fight, and if you bring them, you know like no, we're just going to have a chill night, but I'm going to bring this dude who always gets in a fight, you know, and one of your buddies gets mad at you because you know it's like you know you knew what was going to happen, even though I'm the
Yep.
one that you know threw the first punch or whatever. You know, everybody knew what was going to happen when we came here, and you started. You know, I don't know. I see him as that. Like
Yep.
you strung a good tale and you hooked us all in, but you knew what was going to happen.
Yeah, but I guess my point is, why don't we see that in the movie? Like we're speculating,
Right.
right? Given what we had, all you get is Virgil picking up a boy who almost gets run over by some horses coming by, and then looking at a lady. I think it's the mother of the kid with a scar on her face, and then all of a sudden he's a totally different dude. That I mean, from that moment on, he's nothing but angry with Wyatt, and you don't really get to see why. I guess that's what I'm saying. So the last thing I'll say, I looked at the rest of these characters. I mean, this cast is huge, and there are some roles played by some of these characters that I didn't know, and maybe I'm just gonna out myself as being stupid here. Um, did you guys know that Powers Booth is the colonel in Red Dawn, or the pilot in Red Dawn that gets shot down and helps out the kids? Okay. Um,
That
Johnny
Jennifer
Ringo.
Grey really wants to bang and gets
Yeah,
upset when he
yeah, yeah,
dies.
yeah. Johnny Ringo,
Don't
Michael
just
Behan is in The Mandalorian as Lane in season 2. That's when he finds Ahsoka, and Ahsoka's going at this city. He is like the second in charge, the guy who stands at the wall with that lady and is like, "What are you doing here?" He's that guy. Um, the one that I had no clue at all, the guy that plays Ike Clanton, who everybody despises in this movie, is the Colonel in Avatar. I had no clue that's the same guy. And I was like, I've never
I
seen this Ike Clanton character. I've
That
never
guy
seen him in
seems
another
way
movie.
taller.
I just went to IMDb before we started recording, and I was looking up some stuff, and I saw the picture of him, like short hair and everything. I was like, "Holy shit, that's the guy
Yeah,
from Avatar!" So
yeah.
yeah, Ike threw me. I thought you were
Um,
going to say something about Mike being in Terminator. I was going to be like, "Don't, please don't do
uh,
Do
the
you know
one who
Val Kilmer
plays
was in Batman?
that."
I was
Bane
okay.
was
I said I
in
might out myself for being
Aliens.
stupid. You guys are taking a leap here. The actress who plays Allie, Virgil's wife, Allie girl. I still got one good arm to hold you with. She's Jennifer. What's her name's mom in the Hunger Games,
Oh,
Jennifer
and
Lawrence.
the one who played Maddie
She's
Blaylock
also
was
hang
in
on.
Fletch.
You're still
Oh,
talking about Allie? She's for I think it's Cinemax. Shit.
oh.
This is gonna go off the rails. Uh, I already see Matt's
that's
You
what you
said
do, though.
Cinemax.
We
That's
were
what you
doing
do.
so good too. We were
No.
doing so
All right. Um, Brian, help me out. Goon,
Yep.
Boss, Ross the Boss Ray. Who plays him? Levi, Liev, Schreiber.
Liv Schreiber,
Okay.
Ray Duncan,
Ray Donovan.
Ray
She's
Donovan.
Ray
Sorry.
Donovan's wife too. Who got there quicker than I thought? I'm out.
All right, and then the last one is one of the cowboys, I believe. Billy Claiborne is played by Wyatt Earp the Third, which is a distant cousin of actual Wyatt Earp. That's
pretty
pretty
cool.
cool too. So love this pick, and I love this movie. I do find some faults in it now that I'm watching it later on in life, start to finish, but that doesn't mean I'm not going to keep watching it because the performances and quotes are so good.
Good stuff. And your favorite non-doc quote was?
Well, I started out with "You called down the thunder, now you
Yeah,
got it."
yeah.
Let's see. There's also I ain't ever even seen anything like that is a pretty good quote,
Mm.
except I can't say it right. Uh, boy, I thought I had another one too there, but no, that'll do. That's
All
good
right.
for me.
Sweet. Well, thank you. Yeah, I obviously like this movie a lot. Watching it again, I did notice, like I mentioned before, some of the continuity stuff that I'm sure I was supposed to either understand or just sort of, or maybe I blinked for a second and I missed something. But um, reading up on it now, I've never really read into the history of the OK Corral that much, so I did this time just to kind of see and love the historical accuracy part. I mean, it's always going to be Hollywood version of it, but um, yeah, I thought it was really neat. I thought it was neat. Tim just mentioned like Wyatt Earp the third or whatever was in it, and the Harry Carey Jr., whose dad was in one of the original OK Corral movies when they made those. That was really neat. My favorite non-doc quote is the same basically as Tim's, but the whole scene at the train station. Calm down the thunder, run you cur, tell the rest of the curs that I'm coming and hell's coming with me. I love that. And I almost laugh at it because Kurt Russell, it is kind of it's not like the best delivery of a line in my opinion. It is kind of like over the top, but I still love it. I still love it. Run you cur. Um, the law's coming. You tell them I'm coming. Hell's coming with
Mhm.
me. I love that scene. My actual favorite Doc Holliday quote, and there's so many. For whatever reason, he's all of them are great. When Billy Bob Thornton, threatens with the shotgun and stuff, and they're talking to each other because they just came to town, and he turns, and he goes, "Oh, Johnny,
Hmm.
forgot you were there.
Forgot you were there.
You
Yeah.
may go now." That's a great quote. So that's actually my
That
favorite Doc
and
quote.
it continues though with the leave the shotgun,
Yeah,
Yeah.
leave the shotgun.
set it down.
Set it down. Yeah.
Even in that scene, the "Forgive me if I don't shake hands" is a
Yeah.
cool
Yeah.
line.
Mhm.
There's
Well, and in
tons
the
of lines in that
in
scene.
that Billy Bob Thornton says thank you. He says thank you when he
Yeah.
sets the
Thank you.
shotgun down.
Yeah.
He goes, "Thank you." Like, I'm alive. I don't know. This is funny. Yeah, no. To Aaron's point, I could literally watch this on repeat most days. I have a really good friend who introduced me to this movie. He might be listening, Matt. If you're listening, his name is also Matt. It's not myself, I promise. Um, that'd be weird. If you're listening, Matt, this one's for you. No, he loved this movie. Introduced me to it a long time ago, long time ago, obviously, and it's been one of my favorites ever since. So I appreciate you guys watching it. I know it's like I said, it's always a little bit dicey when we pick a movie like this that it could just be a whole lot of nothing and done in 20 minutes, but feels like you guys had enough to talk about. So
Well,
appreciate
hell,
you. Did
the
anybody? Sorry,
the
go ahead.
one scene, and we were talking about quotes, and the um when they're down by the creek, and all the shooting's going on, and he walks across the water, he's down there walking on water,
Yeah.
and
Yep.
it's like when and I think he's one of the cowboys that switched too with McMaster's, and he's like you know basically, Doc, why you do it? And he's like, well, Wyatt Earp's my friend,
Mm.
Yeah,
and
and
he's
oh
like, oh
yeah,
hell, Doc, I got a lot of friends. I don't.
yeah,
That
yeah.
is a great line.
It's like, oh god
That
damn it,
one
he's such a
resonates with
badass.
me. I feel that quote a lot.
Well, so then there's some throwbacks too. So there's that line, which is great, and then that pamphlet he gets, which is "My friend Doc Holliday" from
Hmm.
Wyatt Earp, right? That's on
Yeah.
purpose.
Yep.
And also the line that you're talking about, Matt, the "Hell's coming with me," is a reference to the Armageddon thing that the priest is yelling at the cowboys in the opening scene,
Hmm.
because they're describing on a pale horse and hell's
Yep.
coming with them, and so they do a nice job of tying those a few callbacks in as well.
Yeah. Did anybody who not wasn't able to do a quote, anybody, Brian or Mike, anybody want to?
I got mine. I threw mine in.
Okay. I just didn't know if anybody wanted to
Skin that smoke wagon. and
skin that
all
smoke
that,
wagon,
whatever.
see what happens.
So I did have a question. If anyone else can help me out on this one, the same scene at the train station.
Hmm.
He shows him the badge, the U.S. Marshal badge. He's like, "It's all legal now." Wasn't he legal before? He was deputized by Virgil.
I think
That
it
one
stops.
threw me.
I think it stops being a town marshal and becomes a U.S. marshal.
That's what I
Again,
figured as
we
well. Like
don't
he
get
went
any
back.
background
Yeah.
there, but I think it's a much bigger authority.
I just assumed
There's
he.
something with that with Doc too, because he was deputized, but then when Wyatt's a marshal, he's like, "Oh, I would love to know what that's like," which seems to be a whole setup.
I
Yeah,
never
to get
got
the
the
badge.
feeling that Doc was deputized. I thought he was just
I think I
watching
read
Wyatt's
that
back. Oh, okay.
at the OK Corral. He was legal to be doing what he was doing.
Okay.
Also, and this is just me, and my mind works crazy, but the opening scene, and I don't know why. Maybe they possibly use the same church in this movie, but I always get a Three Amigos vibe.
He only wrote that Three Amigos set piece.
It's like,
It's 100%.
it's completely not Three Amigos by any stretch of
Literally wrote it.
imagination.
Right.
But I was just like, oh, Three Amigos. Nope, not Three Amigos.
Wait a
Speed-
minute. The three
speeder stuck in a
brothers
pinata,
going to a new
30 feet in
town.
the air.
Well, and they left some
No,
brothers
that-
out too.
Yeah.
At that scene, you can see McMaster's being pissed at Curly Bill
Yeah.
also. Like, so there's another throwback or tie-in that they do nicely in the movie.
Yeah, and even the guy shooting the screen that was like reused from some old movie too. They have the picture of the cowboy and the gun goes off. It looks like he's shooting at the camera.
Mm.
That's used from a different movie too.
And they also just show you how crazy Ringo is because, like, everyone else is leaving the priest alone because you don't mess with priests. And he just finally put a bullet in his head, like, shut up,
Yeah.
you know? And that was another one of my favorite one is your Spanish is worse than your English, you ignorant wretch.
Yeah.
That's
Yep,
also a
that's
good
pretty
line.
good. That's pretty good. And I mean, we're not talking about some obvious scenes. I do love in the casino when Johnny Ringo meets Doc Holliday, where he does the gun twirling thing, and then Doc flips the cup around back at him. Looks to be the exact same motions that he did. Right? He's mimicking what he does. Always liked that. Is there another? I'm your Huckleberry, sitting back down with the barber, going, "Proceed, sir." I mean, we seem to.
You may proceed.
You may
sir.
proceed, sir. We're dancing around some of Doc Holliday's best quotes because Matt told us not to do
Well,
Doc
that's-
Holliday quotes, but they're just so good.
Well, and it's not even really a quote, it's a whole like soliloquy. Look it up. Where he's talking about why Johnny Ringo is the way he is, and he's got a hole in his heart, and there's not enough killing, and whatever will fill it.
He's angry for being born.
Yeah, he should have never. Yeah,
He wants revenge.
And then
For
just
what?
like
For what?
Ike, who
Being born.
for being born.
yeah, like Ike, who pussies out every opportunity he gets. Ringo tries. My fight's not with you, Holiday. I beg to differ, sir.
Yeah, Plan for Blood.
We never finished.
Yeah,
I was just kidding.
There's
I
also
wasn't.
yeah,
there's also apparently
That's
a
so
delete.
cold blooded. I was just kidding. I wasn't.
I wasn't.
There's also apparently a deleted scene that explains why his girlfriend just disappears 3/4 of the way through the movie.
Yeah, that's a good point.
They deleted it, but there's a scene apparently that explains. I don't know, so I don't know if she ran off with the money or what. I'd like to actually know what the scene
He
was.
killed her. He figured out. Just,
Are you talking about Kate? They show her
Kate, yeah.
standing on the balcony when they're taking Morgan's body out of town.
Yeah, yeah, but I
nose
just
Kate.
mean they just explain in a scene somewhere why
Oh,
she
okay.
disappears. Like she's no longer in the movie anymore after that.
They also, him and Kate have a fuller, more explained relationship in the other movie.
I I guess I'm gonna have to watch Wyatt Earp.
Yeah,
Yep.
I never saw it
You
either.
really should. It's good.
Okay.
But it was also in the time period where Carson was making like 4-hour movies all the time, right?
It was a double VHS.
It was
Yeah,
a long movie for sure.
Uh,
That's why I think
yes.
that's the reason I never saw it.
Yeah. Well, we'll see.
Costner
Maybe
is a
I'll
Thanks for
funny-
maybe
leaving,
I'll
Aaron.
maybe I'll pull a Wilden and watch it on double speed or something just to get the gist of it.
Costner's a funny dude. Like he did all the baseball movies, right?
Mhm.
And
Lawrence Kasdan directed it.
Who?
I-
Lawrence Kasdan directed Empire Strikes Back.
oh,
Oh.
okay. Yeah,
I
I
think
don't
and Jedi.
know. Where I was
Guilty?
going with that is Costner's also done a bunch of westerns, right?
Right.
And
Yes.
like there's a couple of themes throughout his career, and Silverado when he was really young, and then Open Range quite a bit later.
Open Range.
and
And
that's got some cool scenes in it.
if you've never
Oh my
watched the
gosh.
first 4 seasons of Yellowstone, that show
And
is
Yellowstone, that's where I
very
was going to
good.
go with that. Yeah.
After the
I
4th
got to
season, it
watch-
kind of but
Okay.
I got to watch Open Range in the theater, and then afterward, Robert Duvall did a Q&A.
oh,
Oh,
that's cool.
That was pretty great. Yeah.
Cool. All right, we
All
have
right.
dragged our feet as long as we possibly can. Hilty, we gave you as much research time. We see you clicking over there.
I don't think
Uh,
Dan's going to make it.
No,
It's, yeah,
no.
it's not, probably not going to make it.
He's watching the Toronto game.
He'll catch the podcast. Hilty, it's your pick. What do you got for us?
I made a list of like 20 movies, and now I'm struggling a little bit.
15, movie 15. Just pick it.
Okay, fine. Movie 15 is
No,
oh,
not
okay.
picking it.
Okay, no. I
Oh,
will.
no.
I'll commit to the bit. It's fine. Movie 15 is Life is Beautiful.
Oh, man, I love that movie.
Life is beautiful.
This is a
I used to show it as a
really
teacher.
good movie.
Is this the guy at the Oscars that went nuts when he
Yes.
won? Okay.
Yes.
Roberto Benigni.
Yeah. So
Such a Buongiorno Principesca. Such a
Mhm.
good.
I was looking for something that kind of crossed all different genres, and this is
Oh.
one. And also was looking for a foreign movie because I think the last time that we did one was Parasite, and the one, I guess you can count parts of the French Connection, I suppose. That'll do it for this episode of the BTB Movie Club podcast. Thank you as always for listening. We know we enjoyed ourselves. We hope you did too. Have yourself a great week. We are partnered with the SPDM Crew Podcast Network.